and welcome to the news update on AFRICUNIA television, bringing you updates from the African scene, the foreign scene, and the world of sport. I'm Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for joining me. We begin from Nigeria. The All Progressives Council Presidential Campaign Council has criticized the presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Peter Obi, for fanning the ember of ethnic tensions in the country. The council also said that the APC presidential candidate, Bola Tinubu, has not withdrawn from the race on health grounds, as it has been spread on social media. A statement by the council spokesman and Minister of State for Labour, Festus Keyamo, in Abuja, said that the APC standard bearer is strong, healthy, and fit enough for the coming campaign. Keyamo said that the opposition will hear loud and clear from him, that is Tinubu, very soon. It was alleged that the Obi supporters were responsible for the false and misleading posts on some social media handles. The council also faulted an offensive and hate video allegedly made and circulated by Obi, in which he accused Tinubu's group of spreading a WhatsApp message calling on Yorubas not to vote for him. Debunking the purported WhatsApp messages, Keyamo said that all groups supporting the Tinubu Shetima ticket as clear designation with well-known promoters. And now moving on, the Senate yesterday rejected the 2023-2025 medium-term expenditure framework and fiscal strategy paper, which proposed a 6 trillion naira tax and import duties waivers proposed for in the 19.76 trillion naira 2023 budget, which also contained a deficit of 12.4 trillion naira. The OPA Legislative Chamber of the National Assembly also directed the Nigeria Customs Service to carry out a downward review of the proposed waivers in the fiscal document by 50%. In addition, it asked the Federal Inland Revenue Service to critically look into the seeming abuse of tax credits by some companies. The lawmakers said this when the Senate Committee on Finance and Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Mrs. Zainab Ahmed, as well as heads of revenue-generating agencies in the country, met in Abuja yesterday to review the contents of the proposed 2023 to 2025 MTF FSB. Worried by the submission, the committee chairman, Olamilekon Adiola, told the minister that both the projected 12.43 trillion naira budget deficits and 6 trillion naira tax and import duties waivers should be critically reviewed downwards before sending the proposals to the National Assembly for consideration and approval. He told the minister to look into the list of beneficiaries of the waivers for required downward review to 3 trillion naira with attendant reduction of 12.43 trillion naira deficit figure. Meanwhile, Nigeria's oil production plunged to 972,000 barrels per day in August 2022 as Angola and Libya overtook Nigeria by producing higher volumes of crude during the review month. The Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries has said. OPEC disclosed this in its September 2022 report, confirming the figures released recently by the Nigeria Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission. Reports revealed that oil production in Nigeria dropped in August 2022, crashing below 1 million barrels per day to 972,394 BPD. It stated that figures from the NUPRC indicated that the country's oil production dropped from 1,083,899 BPD in July to 972,394 BPD in August. Confirming this in its September 2022 oil sector report released on Tuesday, OPEC stated that the drop in Nigeria's oil production made Angola and Libya overtake Nigeria in oil output. It said Libya's crude oil production averaged also 1.123 MBD for the month of August. According to secondary sources, total OPEC 13 crude oil production averaged 29.65 MBD in August, higher by 618,000 month on month. Away from Nigeria, a whole audience of heads of state and government waited for William Ruto at the MOI International Sports Center, Kasarani in Nairobi. The officials attended Tuesday the inauguration ceremony of Kenya's 5th president since independence. Ruto made his big entrance in a highly charged venue The 60,000-seat stadium was filled before dawn, and many spectators were clad in yellow, the color of Ruto's party, and waved Kenya's flags. He swore to be faithful to the Republic of Kenya, protect and defend the Constitution and laws, and uphold the sovereignty, integrity, and dignity of the people of Kenya. Many Kenyans wanted to witness the moment the United Democratic Alliance candidate would officially be sworn in. However, the venue could not host everyone, as scores of people were crushed and injured as they forced their way into the stadium, and most of the wounded were rushed to Nairobi's main hospital. Still on the African scene, thousands of Sudanese protesters took to the streets of the capital, Khartoum, on Tuesday to press demands for a return to civilian rule following a military coup last year. Many carried posters criticizing the military. Others showed pictures of some of the 116 people that pro-democracy medics say have already been killed in a previous crackdown on the anti-coup protest. A solution can only be reached by achieving our demands. We will keep on protesting. There isn't a time frame for the revolution. Once we fulfill our demands, the demonstration will stop, affirmed protester Tarek Hoffman. In July, Burhan pledged in a televised address to step aside and make way for Sudanese faction to agree on a civilian government. Civilian leaders dismissed the move as a ruse, and in June the UN said a record of 15 million people in Sudan, around one-third of the population, were facing acute food insecurity and warned the situation was likely to get worse. We now go on a short break, and when we come back, it's updates making the rounds on the foreign scene. Do stay with me. And now welcome back onto the foreign scene. Today, Ukraine worked on Wednesday to secure territory reclaimed from occupying Russian forces in a swift counter-offensive and reiterated plans to win back all occupied regions, as US President Joe Biden predicted a long haul ahead. In a Tuesday evening address, President Volodymyr Zelensky said around 8,000 square kilometers have been liberated by Ukraine forces so far this month, apparently all in the northeastern region of Kharkiv. Stabilization measures had been completed in about half of the territory, Zelensky said. And across a liberated area of about the same size, stabilization measures are still ongoing. Since Moscow abandoned its main bastion in the northeast on Saturday, marking its worst defeat since the early days of the war, Ukrainian troops have recaptured dozens of towns in a stunning shift in battleground momentum. Moving on, the United States is considering options for a sanctions package against China to deter it from invading Taiwan, with the European Union coming under diplomatic pressure from Taipei to do the same. The sources said the deliberation in Washington and Taipei's separate lobbying of EU envoys were both at an early stage, a response to fears of a Chinese invasion, which have grown as military tensions escalate in the Taiwan Strait. Details of what is being considered, but the notion of sanctions on the world's second-largest economy and one of the global supply, China's biggest links, raises question of feasibility was not provided. The White House is focused on getting countries on the same page, including coordinating between Europe and Asia and avoiding provoking Beijing, a non-US official said. Now, still on the foreign scene, Thailand's Constitutional Court on Wednesday, September 30th, set September 30th as the date to deliver its verdict on the tenure of Prime Minister Prayuth Chan-o-cha, a case that seeks to determine whether he has already exceeded an 8-year limit as Premier. Prayuth, who seized power in the 2014 coup before formally becoming Prime Minister soon after, is suspended while the court deliberates on the case filed by the opposition Pheu Thai Party, which argues he should have left office last month. The former army chief is still active in his other post of defense minister and could return as premier if the court decides he has yet to reach the 8-year mark. His deputy, Prayuth, is serving as caretaker premier, and Prayuth, who is 68, is giving no opinion on the case and has said he will respect the outcome. The court must decide whether the 8 years should include Prayuth's time as leader of the military administration he installed after toppling the futile government. We now head to the sports scene. Joe Matip's late Ezeh earned Liverpool a 2-1 win over Ajax as their Champions League campaign finally had lifted off at Anfield. Beaten badly by Napoli last week, the scrutiny on Jurgen Klopp's side looked set to be amplified when Mohamed Kudus cancelled out Mohamed Salah's opener early on. But Matip rose to head home with minutes remaining to win it for Liverpool. European nights at Anfield are often stirring occasion, but the emotions were a little different on this occasion following the passing of the Queen Elizabeth II on Thursday. No Champions League anthem, instead a moment of silence that was impeccably observed for a few isolated shouts from a handful of supporters. And finally, Anthony Joshua's management team yesterday revealed in a tweet that its fighter has accepted the term presented by Tyson Fury for a bout on December 3rd. This was made known to Fury team on Friday, the 258 MGT group said. Before both parties agreed to halt the communication following the death of Queen Elizabeth II on Thursday, and said, "We're waiting for a response," posted the management team, which said it was speaking on behalf of Joshua along with the fighter's promoter, Matchroom. In a video on social media last week, Fury, the WBC champion, said he was willing to offer Joshua 40% of the purse for a title fight before the end of the year. Fury's hope of landing a fight with Alexander Usyk, who retained the WBA, WBO and IBF belts by beating Joshua in Saudi Arabia last month, was dashed when Ukraine said he did not intend to fight again this year. And that concludes the news update on AFRICUNIA television. Do follow all our social media platforms displaying on your screen. And you can also link us up on www.africunia.tv to stay connected and updated to our news and other programs. Once again, I am Deborah Ezeh. Many thanks for watching.